Good morning and welcome to the channel. It is a gorgeous day and we are once again headed to the auto show, but just for like an hour, and then hopefully I can get the McLaren out of there and we can race Dirty Max Jack. I'll tell you what I wish I had in the Dirty Max. Look at this button. That is fucking awesome. We are a little bit more packed today. We got a Mustang up there making a lot of noise, but not going anywhere fast, like most Mustangs do. Wow, got the window louvers. That's how you know he's for real. Nobody knows about the other turning lane. You see, we failed to know about the other turning lane. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of cars there. Thank God I have a pass to just go in because this looks horrible. Clearly a lot of people here who don't give a shit about cars. They don't know anything about cars. They're not buying a car. So, I mean, I guess they come here for something to do and all the cars are in one place. But like any of these that are at this show, at the Harrisburg show, any of these you can go to any dealer lot and just look at them. Like there's nothing special here at all. I don't know what she's directing. Not criticizing, it's great, you know, get people interested, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Here we got people preparing for the outdoor show, I believe, which is coming up soon. I think the week after this one. Hello, what are we doing? We're vaping while we're unloading hunting equipment. I'll be goddamn. Focus RS and a Tesla. Wow, that's kind of neat. Oh, I don't know about this one, boys. This is kind of tight here. All right, we're here. I'm excited. I'm in a great mood. Let's do it. Oh boy, folks, we got quite a crowd over by the McChicken. That's a big crowd. That's a big crowd. Hello.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I don't want to hear that.
Are you Troy Sowers?
Yes, I am.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, you want the left tit, right tit,
So both tits.
and then cleavage?
Yeah.
You
We
were
got
giving me crap for being late the 2 days that I wasn't even scheduled.
I was
to
a little
be
bit
here.
late today. All right, I was a little bit late. Look at the crowd we got, buddy.
A little bit late.
All right, let me go over there and put my doors up, and
Put your doors up.
we'll start
Say
this.
hi to
We'll start
everybody.
this event
Everybody's
here.
been asking me where you've been at.
Well, I'm here now. I'm gonna have to ask you guys to get the hell out of the McLaren booth. This is for owners only. Owners only. Come on now.
I drove it. Good, how are you?
Good to see you out. We are here at the McLaren booth. It is still insane.
It is.
It is packed.
We came to support Mike. So.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. Jack is here too. He's over there.
So we found a secret entrance in the McLaren booth that hopefully no one else will find.
Hopefully. Yeah, it's the back. It's really well sealed.
Yeah.
You definitely can't walk around back there.
I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to get your car out when you want to get it out.
Yeah, I might be in trouble for this race. Although I feel like I can just be like, hey, Ford guys, move real
You
quick.
have to tell them that you have a,
I'll go right in.
you know, a specific date in Mexico.
I have a very special event I have to make it to. Time out, I gotta sign
second,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Very thankful for the fact that McLaren brought inventory here too, because we're selling a lot, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And Troy and I brought nothing, so thankfully McLaren has hats, thermoses, I don't know, those socks? Jack is here. We were going to race today, but apparently I can't move my car from right there out that door. And I understand like starting it could be a potential carbon monoxide hazard, but I can't even push it. His exact words, the fire marshal here, his exact words.
Create a state of panic amongst
It will
spectators.
create a state of panic and create a fire emergency hazard. Sorry.
Already panicked just hearing about it.
I know, Nick,
so panicked.
poor Nick had
Are you
a
okay?
stroke
I'm
already.
sweating. I'm sweating.
When Nick heard I was gonna start my car, he started sweating. thank you guys for coming out to support Troy and I at the auto show. We had a great time. If you can't tell, my car is back. Now, the original plan was to get my car out of the show so that Jack and I could go out and race his C6 heads cam Corvette versus my McLaren. And he's been talking about how, oh, you know, it's going to be a close race, and he thinks the Corvette's going to keep up and all this stuff. I was not allowed to leave the show because of the fire rules, which I figured, you know, I figured that I might run into some trouble trying to start the car inside with people. You know, I could see that, a carbon monoxide hazard or whatnot. But, you know, I was about 20 feet from the door, so I really thought that, okay, if I can't start the car, at least, you know, I can push it out the door. But per the words of the fire marshal, that would create a fire hazard as well, a moving car inside of a building. I don't really get it, but hey, if that's the rules, no problem. I'm not gonna bitch and complain. So, couldn't get my car out, and today, Jack bailed on the race. So I personally think that he pussied out, and I think he's very afraid that he's going to lose, and it will be extremely embarrassing for him. So if you wanna give him shit, I'll put his channel up on the screen, and he would definitely deserve it if you did give him shit. But, you know, we'll have to schedule the race for another time. Yes, like I said, you know, Troy and I really did appreciate the support. We didn't think that very many people would come out. You know, it's a pretty small auto show. It's not like Philly or Detroit or New York or something like that. So we didn't even bring any merch or anything, but luckily McLaren Philadelphia brought some posters, and they sold 2,000 of them. They sold out last night. So it was fucking crazy, and I can't thank you guys enough. And you know, MOTORAMA is going to be insane. So at that same exact building, the Farm Show Complex, we're going to be having, we'll be attending the MOTORAMA event. And MOTORAMA is actually, I believe, the largest indoor automotive show on the East Coast. Very cool. It's kind of like a mini SEMA where companies will showcase their new products, and a lot of local companies come out with their shop vehicles and whatnot. And of course, regular people like myself can come out and bring cars. My McLaren will be there, my Corvette, and my truck. And of course, that is where I am revealing all the new stuff for the Duramax. So it's gonna be insane. Again, I'll put all the info down below. I've been talking about it for a while, but it's definitely the biggest event that we have going on until the call outs. I have a bulldog hair there. Yep, right there, bulldog hair. The joys of living with animals. But anyway, yeah, MOTORAMA gonna be great. Come out if you can. Again, thanks for the support at the auto show. And now I wanna talk about something a little bit different. I wanna talk about the Corvette situation, because the number one question that people ask me on the channel is, are you going to keep the Z06 and the ZR1? My original plan was to simply get rid of the Z06 and get the ZR1 in its place. But I really enjoy drag racing. And if you want to drag race at the level that I'm at, which quite frankly is not a very high level. I mean, if you want to drag race in the 9s or above 135 miles an hour, which is not that fast. I mean, my McLaren, you know, a rear drive car, it's not going to launch. I mean, launch control in a 570 is insane. Better than a lot of all-wheel drive cars. But even with the limitations of a stock McLaren, these things do like a 10.3 at 133 in the quarter. So, you know, that whole NHRA safety limit of 10 seconds at 135 is not very far off. You know, there's cars today that will do that stock. So if I were to get a ZR1 with a couple of little modifications, not much done to it at all, it's gonna run 9. What does that mean? Well, that means I will have to put a roll cage in it, and I don't really wanna do that. So if I wanna have a drag racing car, it really makes sense for me to keep my Z06. And like I said, I love drag racing. I've really gotten to love it over the past year or so. You know, I was never a big drag racer, and neither was Nick, really. I mean, his Camaro was stock about 1.5 years ago, and he started getting into it. And then I went to a few events with him, and I was one of those guys who was like, I don't get drag racing. I just want to race on a road course. Or, you know, what's the fun of 10 seconds in a straight line? Well, here I am, I'm hooked. So, you know, I started going to some events with him, and now, of course, we do these call outs, and it's a ton of fun. Everyone has a great time. So I want to have a dedicated drag car for that, and I want to have the new ZR1. So it really doesn't make sense to trade in my Z06 and get a ZR1. I was talking earlier a few weeks ago about downsizing and how I want to kind of get back to basics on the channel. And I mean, the Volkswagen hardly even counts as a vehicle. And I don't say that like as an anti-VW joke. I'm just saying it's a tiny car, it just kind of sits here. But, you know, do I want to go back and forth between 4 cars? And I really don't. But when I look at it, you know, I definitely want the new ZR1. I got to keep my Z06 as the drag car. I have to have my truck. And I love the McLaren way too much to get rid of it. So I feel like I have to keep those 4 cars. In my head, I can't possibly think about getting rid of one of them. Each one has its own purpose, which is what I've always that's kind of the logic I've always followed. The truck, that's a totally different thing, of course. We got the Z06 is the drag car. The McLaren is the cruiser, road course car, and, you know, just have fun supercar. And that's where the two, the McLaren and the ZR1, are pretty similar. I feel like they're the closest in what their job is in my garage. Each vehicle has a job. And if I'm not going to make the ZR1 a drag car, and that will be the Z06, then what is the ZR1? Besides a fun drive around, modified a little bit, road course car, which is exactly what this is. I mean, it's fun, basically stock, modified a little bit. We got sport cats and straight pipes on it. So, you know, it is kind of weird to have a ZR1 and the McLaren do the same thing, but they're very different too. I mean, the ZR1, as cool as it is, at the end of the day, it's just a Corvette, and a C7 Corvette, which has been out since 2014. It's not that special. It's gonna have a lot of hype when it first comes out. That's really gonna be it. You know, it's not that big of a deal. The McLaren will always be a big deal. I can't tell you how many people came to the auto show and said, wow, I've never seen one of those in person before. And when you're around it every day, you kind of get immune to it, so it's not a big deal. But, you know, it really is an exotic supercar. The doors go up, it's got the whole thing, the engine's in the back. So it's a different animal than a Corvette, and it will always be more special. And quite frankly, I haven't driven a ZR1 yet, but I already know, because I'm so familiar with the C7 platform, I already know that the McLaren is still going to be way better to drive. As painful as that is for, I'm sure, many of you to hear, yeah, the McLaren is a much, much better car than a Corvette, but it should be because it's 200 grand. And the Corvette will be likely faster and badass in its own way. It's gonna sound better. I mean, everyone agrees the Corvettes I have sound fucking amazing. The Corvettes anyone has. But, you know, the Corvettes have the sound, they have the ferocity, they have the aggressiveness. It is different than this. So I think they're different enough that I'll enjoy both at the same time, but I'm just gonna have to figure out what I'm going to do with parking. I really gotta get to work on building that second garage. Again, we are pretty close here. The ZR1 will be delivered by the end of March, and that is really 2 months away. Everybody definitely wants to know that info. I can't tell you how many people ask me about, are you keeping the Z? What are you doing with the ZR1? What about the McLaren? So that, for now, what I just talked about is my plan. That being said, we're gonna switch it up and finish with a little mail time. This is from Nicholas in Mechanicsburg, PA, very close to me. This is one of those letters with the insulation, so I'm gonna be very careful opening it. And I was right. I know, dear Mike, wanted to get you this for Christmas, but since I was entered in the Great C5 drawing, I thought I would wait in case I would be able to hand it to you in person. I'm sorry you didn't win. Keep up the great content. Thank you for being an upstanding man. Sincerely, Nick. Well, Nick, thank you very much. Check that out. We got a Pennsylvania plate from 1920. Well, there you go. Nick, that is by far the oldest plate I have received. We got one from somebody with no name in Camp Hill. What's up with the Pennsylvania packages? Dunkin' Donuts. I know American-made trucks are better than anything else. I own and make videos on my 2013 Silverado 1500 and 2011 Ram Cummins. Upshift Z71, Derek, thank you very much for the Dunkin' Donuts coupons. And the shirts, which I feel like you just took out of your closet. They're not really vehicle related, and they're definitely not new. I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate you sending me stuff and taking the effort, but I'm not, you know, goodwill. Mail time is over. No more car show vlogs, I promise. Starting tomorrow, we are back to doing awesome shit. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you are stopping in for the first time, please subscribe. Take care. Have a great day.